Welcome to Empower Your Soul with Nicole. I'm really excited today to talk about evidential mediumship and what that is versus the Akashic Records and what that is, because these are two amazing modalities and services that I provide to clients, and they're both amazing in their own unique ways. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to educate on what the difference between the two of these are and what to use when. And this prompted from a client reading I had this morning, and it was an amazing client. It's a repeat client, absolutely love her. And she came in with an evidential mediumship request. She wanted me to talk to her departed grandmother, but what we ended up doing is more so connecting to her Akashic Records and answering some questions and uncovering some truths about her and her path and her soul. And I want to highlight the difference between the two because I think they're both amazing, amazing educational, healing, incredible spiritual modalities, but there's a time and place for both of them. So let's start with evidential mediumship. And I hope you don't mind me, client, using you as an example. I love my clients because they're always real life examples. They're always practical. It helps you really understand what I'm saying in a very rooted, grounded way. So this morning, my amazing client came to me to talk to her departed grandmother. And so that's exactly what evidential mediumship is. You're going to tell me or tell your medium, who do I want to talk to that passed from the physical world into the spirit world? And that's the idea of mediumship, is I'm going to talk to departed loved ones. And when I say departed loved ones, that can be relatives, obviously. It could be family members. That's the same thing as relatives. It could be, but I'm not doing another take because Spirit told me I had to keep going. So welcome to the brain of Nicole. It could be friends, it could be neighbors, it could be pretty much anyone that you may have known in this lifetime, no matter how close you were or how distant you were. They are all watching over you and wanting to provide you evidence that they're around and guidance for you in your current life. So when we have these evidential mediumship readings, we will pull forward your departed loved ones one by one, right? And we will talk to them, provide evidence for them. And that's the key difference between evidential mediumship and other types of mediumship, because there are a lot of different types of mediumship. Just like there's a whole bunch of different types of socks. They're all socks, right? But they're all, are they crew cut? Are they, I don't know my socks. Are they, but you know where I'm going. So evidential mediumship is the version of mediumship that I like because it provides evidence that your loved ones are in fact watching over. It's not just me getting in front of you and saying, hey, your grandmother's here. These are all the messages that she has. But hey, wait a second. Let me give you evidence that this is her. Let me talk about her personality. Let me talk about, things that happened in her life that you would know about. Let me talk about the ring that she passed down to you. Let me talk about how, she stood up for herself and she actually went to college when it wasn't typically the time for women to go to college, right? So we provide evidence of who they are to validate that this is a real experience and I'm actually connecting to your departed loved ones first before we give you the words of advice. So that's key. So if you're going to a medium and it's not evidential, or they're not giving evidence of who the person was, I don't know, that's really hard for a lot of skeptics, which is why I personally dabble or focus on the evidential mediumship side of the house instead of kind of the channeled messages kind of thing. So that's what mediumship is. And then that moves into, again, the message, right? And the message it's more so what people want out of the mediumship readings. That is the guts of the session, where your departed loved ones will come in, talk about things that are going on recently in your life, give you advice, give you feedback, kind of help you on your journey, just like they would have typically if they were here in the physical world. And also they will let you know through signs, through recent things that you've done, and they might mention that in the meeting or mention signs that you see associated with them. And these, again, are continued evidence that they're around you, that they love you, that they continue to watch over you. So for me, the purpose of evidential mediumship readings are to, in fact, validate that life continues after death, number one. And number two, it is to give you a little bit of advice based on current things that are going on in your life or current worries in your life. So when we talk to departed loved ones, you are getting that information from a specific person on a specific topic, right? It is all from that one person, just like you were sitting down and drinking tea with them and getting advice from them. Pretty standard, right? And by the way, there's nuances there. They talk about what they want to talk about. Some of the evidence might be kind of fun, but that's generally it. When we talk about Akashic Records, this is a bigger conversation. So whereas mediumship will provide healing, they might give messages of love, of forgiveness, allow you to remove the grief, and having the conversations that I forgive you if you weren't there when you were when I passed. I forgive you for the words you said. I forgive you for this, or can you forgive me for bad behavior? It goes both ways. The healing, the forgiveness, the removal of guilt and sadness. That is mainly what evidential mediumship is for. But as you shift into Akashic Records, these are bigger conversations about who you are as a soul and what's the journey of your soul. And I like to talk about the Akashic Records as kind of like, it's like Google for you and your soul. It's the soul-led Google, so that you can ask whatever questions you want, and it will be channeled information from your spiritual team in the Akashic Records. And what the Akashic Records is essentially the book of your soul, past lives, present life, future, possible futures. Let me caveat that, possible futures. And you can ask questions related to anything that comes from you. So you can talk about you, your soul, your mission, your past lives, your possible futures. You can also talk about you in terms of relationships. What was your relationship with your mom? What was your relationship with your husband in a past life? What's the relationship now? So it all comes from your perspective, but there is nothing that's off limits to ask in the Akashic Records. And I just want to let that sink in for you, because it is a vast library of unlimited knowledge that you have access to in order to help you become your best self, not only in this lifetime, but also throughout the journey of your soul. That is the purpose of the Akashic Records. And while I'm tapping into this Akashic Records, what I'm actually going to do, because I'm getting prompted from Spirit, is to actually tap into the records so that you can feel the vibration. Hang on. First, for those of you that are really good at this, the understanding the energy and feeling energy, I'm going to tap into the mediumship vibration really quick right now. So this is me tapping into the mediumship vibration. It is not psychic. So this is, so I'm thinking of a departed loved one. I'm going to bring them in, and this is the energy. And for those of you that can't read energy, can't feel energy, it essentially feels like I'm expanding my aura out a little bit further, and someone else is stepping into it. So it still feels like me, but it's almost like a slightly higher version of me, a slightly higher vibration of me, where I meet in the middle with Spirit. But I haven't really shifted my energy too much, maybe just a little, and they're there. This might be a me thing. Maybe you shift your energy bigger. I don't know. This is just a me thing. Spirit's always there, so I'm generally at Spirit's vibration most of the time. But when I shift, thank you. I'm saying thank you to the dead person that walked in. But when I shift into the Akashic Records vibration, I'm going to do that right now. My vibration goes straight up. It goes straight up. Not only does it go straight up, but it emanates outward, so that I essentially envelop my client in my energy, and I invite all of the highest, best intentioned information in, and I don't really care where it comes from. I don't care if it comes from your departed loved ones. I don't care if it comes from your spirit guide. I don't care if it comes from the Akashic Records, masters, teachers, and loved ones, right? I don't really care, but I'm tapped into the highest vibration, so the best information is going to come through for you. So that's kind of how it comes in. Is I don't get specific people with Akashic Records. I don't tap into specific loved ones with the Akashic Records. I essentially just ask a question and someone answers it, and I don't always know who answers it. In fact, most of the time in the Akashic Records, you don't know who's answering it. And inevitably, I'm going to get somebody that asks me, well, what if a demon is answering it? And you know from the answers that they provide you that this is all from your highest intention. So don't be afraid that I don't know where the message is coming from. That is part of the beauty in knowing that you are receiving an unbiased and message for your highest self. So as I'm now in the Akashic Records, I'm going to ask them what I need to relay to all of you listening about the Akashic Records. And they want you to know that it comes from unconditional love. It is a modality that is built around you becoming your best self. And for you to become your best self, it comes from unconditional love, and it comes from no judgment, and it comes from a place of only wanting the best for you. So you can absolutely ask the tough questions, and sometimes they will have tough answers. But what they want you to know is those tough answers are designed to help your soul get engaged, think about things, as well as resolving things for good, instead of you lingering in existing energy that doesn't serve you, or those they keep showing me like a tornado, like the spiral, downward spiral, and getting out of that spiral. So that's something that the Akashic Records can help you do. And if this isn't an accurate description of what the Akashic Records is, the fact that I'm all over the place, I don't know what is, because you will ask a question and they will take you everywhere. That's how it is, because they'll tell you the information that you need to know. And sorry, they're yelling at me in my head. And then they'll tell you what you need to know. So they want to talk about resistance right now. I'm going to write that word down because I'm hearing the word resistance in my head. So they want to talk about resistance right now. So anywhere, for example, I feel like a lot of you heard the resistance podcast that I had recently, and you're like, you either have the resistance and you're not sure how to get rid of it, or you are not sure where the resistance comes from. This is an excellent way for you to resolve that, is by hopping into the Akashic Records and saying, hey, Akashic Records, I am feeling resistance in that area. Tell me more about it. And they will tell you, for example, that this stemmed from this relationship when you were a young child. It was the result of this individual circumstance, and that's where it comes from. Not only will they identify the root of it, they will identify how to solve it in this lifetime. But before they do that, they might go into a past life that talks about, this is the actual source of the resistance. This is just a reflection, a mirror from a prior past life that you had, where you had a similar thing. And this is how it showed up, and this is what happened as a result of that. So that lesson you didn't learn in that lifetime. So we're going to bring it back up again in this lifetime, because you need to learn this and you need to overcome this resistance, this problem. So they will kind of take you through current life, past life, and then they'll go into how do you fix it for good. And they might talk about, well, you need to, something about a soup kitchen, right? Like that's what they're literally showing me. Like you need to give, there's something about like needing to give, right? So now you need to go and help people and serve people in a soup kitchen. And you're going to realize that, those people are good, that they're not bad people. They're just have difficult circumstances, and you need to let it go, right? So they'll give you actual things to do to resolve that resistance, that karma. That's the use of the word, by the way. It's not actual like karma. It's just leftover lessons you haven't. That's all karma is leftover lessons you haven't learned yet. It's not bad. It just means you have growth to do in your soul. And it's not like this big thing that hinders you. It just means that you need to start looking at it and going back at it and resolving it for good. Wow. I love that. So it's things like that they'll give you. So that's a really good example of how Akashic Records can help you understand the root cause of your resistance and get rid of it for good, to alleviate that, so you can move forward with your life and leave that behind, leave that resistance behind, so it won't bother you anymore. So it's a really great tool if you can't figure out what's causing your resistance, or you can't get rid of the resistance even though you know the cause. The Akashic Records can actually be a healing modality that allows you to get rid of it for good. So I'm going to bring it full circle, because I know I've kind of gone everywhere with this, but full circle with this is that the Akashic Records, the Google of your soul, allows you to uncover things. It's one thing at a time, and allows you to really analyze it from every single angle, and allow you to identify what you need to do to either get over it, to heal it, or what your potential is going forward, if that makes sense. So this is really, really handy with anything that's personally going on in your life, any continued areas of resistance, friction, anxiety. Awesome for the Akashic Records. You want to learn about past lives. That's really fun. I thoroughly enjoy that. You want to understand, right now, I love my kids, but they're a lot, and my son's kind of a pain in the ass. So I could go into the records to say, how do I change the dynamic of this relationship? How do I help him with X so that he can move on, right? Again, I'm asking it from my perspective. How do I help him with X? And they will give me tips and tricks as a mom. How do I navigate that? How do I help him become his best self? Because the records are kind of tied between your family. I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but I felt the need to say that. So not only will it help you kind of understand dynamics in your life, if you are a person that's struggling or you feel really disconnected with who you are, or you are at a place like I was not too long ago with your career and you don't feel fulfilled and you're like, what the heck am I even doing? There's a bigger purpose here. Perfect for Akashic Records. That's my soul alignment session, right? Not only uncovering all of this stuff, but also like, where do you want to go? If you know that you're not living in your highest potential, highest vibration, this is an opportunity for you to find out what that is. Who is your soul? What is your lesson you're supposed to learn here? What is your best path to be in highest alignment with your best self and your best life? That's exactly what the Akashic Records are for. You can also, fun fact, use Akashic Records for your business, which is my other session, right? It's tapping into the energy of your business and saying, where are the pockets of resistance? Where do you need to go? Where's your ideal client? Where do you need to find them? What are potential avenues for you to proceed forward? What's the best alignment of your business so that you can achieve your soul's goals, right? Because you want to combine your business along with your soul's mission, your soul's agenda, and bring those together, because that's the best of the best of the best. That's the best of the world. And for those of you that don't run your own business, you can do it from a career perspective. What's the right company for me? If I go into this company, what's the energy of this company? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? So it's almost like taking the psychic readings that a lot of people get and the tarot readings, and not knocking those, love those. I do those too. But it almost is channeling the information from a different source that you know is external to yourself, and taking the reader completely out of it so they can channel the best information available for you. So yeah, I guess my advice would be, if you are looking to heal relationships with departed loved ones, and or want to validate that your departed loved ones are around you, and maybe get a little bit of advice from grandma on a specific thing, sign up for an evidential mediumship reading, right? If you really want to go into the core of who you are and what you're here to do and how to heal yourself and how to become your best self, and that I think is the era that we're in right now, just as a collective, is that we are so done with Band-Aids. We are so done with short-term fixes to huge problems. Like just look at this election. Right? Like, we are so done. I don't care what side you're on. We are so done with the mask of other people, right? We are craving authenticity. Like, we are craving needing to be like connected to something deeper, something bigger than ourselves, right? And that craving is what's consistent with everybody with the election, by the way, is what the Akashic Records is saying. So stop pointing fingers at each other. We're all craving the same thing. We're all craving a government that supports us and that helps us and that wants the best for us, right? So that's, sorry, a little bit off tangent here with politics, but it's coming through. So, channeled message, we gotta roll with it. But that's where the Akashic Records are so key, because it helps us really dig at the root causes and helps us solve problems for good, and gives you a new perspective on things so that you can either find the path if you can't find it, or cleans up the path if it's something that you're not sure how to do yourself. Yeah, this was really fun. And by the way, when I am doing a lot of my messages for I had a couple of social media series, like what the dead want you to know, channeled from spirit. Most of that is actually from the Akashic Records. I just kind of tap in, ask the question, and they give me the answer. So it's my modality of choice. I freaking love it. I love evidential mediumship too, but there's something about the Akashic Records for me personally that the information just flows out seamlessly and easily. And so if you are looking to understand more about your soul, your path, your journey, like Akashic Records, 100% the way to go. In business, if you are looking for business solutions, ideas, decisions, wanting to know if this is a good decision, is this a good investment, is this the right path for me, has this product offering, has this service offering, Akashic Records will help you with that. How rad is that, right? Did you know that you had easy access to absolutely everything you ever wanted to know? Now, they're not going to tell you, here's the asterisk with what I just said. They're not going to tell you what decision to make. They will not make the choice for you, but you can ask the information and they will give you possible outcomes. So if you're between jobs right now, what the Akashic Records does is say, hey, should I stay at my current job or should I move to this new job? And you can ask the Akashic Records that. What is the potential future of me staying at this job? What is the potential future of me going to this new job? What's the potential outcome of these? Which is more aligned to my soul and the things that I'm here to do? What's going to be an easier journey, right? You can ask all these questions. And by the way, if you haven't figured this out yet, the Akashic Records is kind of like Jeopardy. Everything has to generally be in the form of a question. So you're asking questions and getting answers. How cool is that, right? So you can ask all of these tough questions, but they're not going to tell you what decision to make. That's up to you, because again, this journey here in the physical world is all about empowerment and you making the right choices for you. And no one is going to tell you. If you have any sort of medium, anyone like telling you what you should be doing, run, because that you're taking away your own empowerment. And this is probably a whole other podcast episode, but you need to make sure that you're empowered to make the choices for your own life. That's why we are here. That's why we have free will. But who says you can't have all the information you could possibly want in order to make that decision? So did you know? So that's my spiel about the Akashic Records and Evidential Mediumship. Again, I love them both. Again, Evidential Mediumship for me is the gateway spiritual drug. It allows people to understand that there is a whole world out there that we can't see, we can't generally feel, we can't access without certain people, helping us with that. I guess everyone's a medium, right? Everyone can kind of get the signs and synchronicities, but the mediumship, I think, really solidifies it for a lot of people and validates it for a lot of people. And then if you want to take it to the next level and really hone in on you and your soul and your path and what you're here to do and your relationships, yes, Akashic Records is the way to go. And that's why I absolutely am obsessed with both of these modalities. There you go. If you have any questions about Evidential Mediumship, Akashic Records, let me know. I will probably do a lot of, my team is telling me I want to focus on Akashic Records in the month of November. We will see how that goes. I don't know if that's going to be true or not, but we will see how that goes. And if you have any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to reach out. All right. Mwah. Love you all. Take care.